I just want to go on the record and say that all of this is a lie. I'm sitting in my pajamas and I only put on makeup for this video. Hi guys, I'm Sweet Pea Cosplay, and today I thought it would be fun if we did the cosplay tag because, as my name may suggest, I'm a cosplayer. The cosplay tag is really simple. There are 10 questions that I'm going to answer, and then at the end, I'm going to tag a couple of people to do it as well. Question number 1. What first got you into cosplay? Well, I've been watching anime since I was like a little kid, but I didn't really know that Pokemon and Sailor Moon were anime at the time. And essentially, sometime around middle school, whenever I joined the Japanese culture club, I discovered that there was like this whole world of people who would dress up like the anime characters. And I've always been a very artsy person, and so whenever I learned that it was something that people did and they actually went to embody the characters that they really liked, I decided that I wanted to give it a try, and so I did. My first costumes that I ever bought, I always wore to Japanese Culture Club because I didn't go to my first convention until my freshman year in high school, I believe it was. It was either my freshman or my 10th grade year in high school was the first time I ever went to a convention. Question number 2. How long have you been cosplaying? The first photo proof of me cosplaying was in 2011 whenever I went to my first anime convention, which was Tsubasa-con all the way in West Virginia. Don't ask me why we decided to go to a con in West Virginia when I live in South Carolina. It just made sense at the time, and we didn't know that there were cons literally just an hour or two away from me. The first costume that I ever wore was a femme ace, and it was atrocious. Like, it sucked so bad. Like, you can't even call it a femme ace. Essentially, I bought the shorts and they didn't fit because I've always been a chubby bunny. So I made do with what I had. Question 3. How many cosplays have you done? I think off of the top of my head, whenever I was writing my script out for this video, I could name about 19 costumes that I've done, but I know that there are costumes that I have missed, so I'm going to say anywhere between 19 to 30 costumes that I've done since I've been cosplaying in 2011. Question 4. How do you get your costumes? A majority of my costumes are bought online, typically on websites like eBay or AliExpress or even Etsy. But recently I have been attempting to make my own costumes, at least mostly. The first costume that I ever actually made by hand was Korra, which I competed with in MomoCon of last year, so MomoCon 2015. It was the first costume that I ever made by hand, and now I have 2 costumes that I've made by hand, and I have 2 more costumes that are made by hand that I'm working on right now. But for a majority, I have bought my costumes just because I think it's a lot easier, and in some cases, it's a lot less expensive. Question number 5. What was your first costume? It was Moroku from Inuyasha. I begged my mom for forever to get me that for Halloween, and she finally bought it, and I went around to the houses and I got in trouble because instead of saying trick or treat, I knocked on people's door and I asked them to bear my children. Hashtag weeb life. Question number 6. What is your favorite cosplay? In all actuality, I think that I have a tie for the favorite costumes that I've ever done because both of the costumes were very comfortable to wear, and I got a lot of compliments on both of the costumes. The first one is Fiona from Adventure Time. So whenever Fiona came up, I was so excited because Fiona was a little bit on the chubbier side, but she was still funny, and I look good as a blonde, and it all just made sense. So I started cosplaying as Fiona. The other costume that definitely was one of my favorites was my Merida costume, and it was just because I always got a lot of compliments when I was in Merida. Everybody always said that I looked just like her and that I pulled her off really well, and Merida got me a free stuffed bear, funny enough. So, I mean, Merida's got me free stuff, so she's got to be numero uno for a favorite costume, okay? Question number 7. What's your favorite thing about cosplay? This answer is going to be really cliche, but the thing is I never had like a lot of friends growing up and such like that. Like I had a lot of people that I was acquaintances with, but I never really like connected with people. Without cosplay, I never would have traveled out of state for conventions. I never would have met a lot of the amazing people that I've met from other states. And I never would have had like this inspiration to do something creative in my life. Question number 8. What are your cosplay pet peeves? I can't stand when people are being rude AF. I hope my friend doesn't mind me using her as an example, but I'm going to use you as an example without using your name. But essentially, I went to a convention about 2 years ago, and my friend had made these prop wings all by herself, and they were gorgeous. They looked so good. And we happened to go through the dealer's room, and this gentleman who was older, anywhere between his 40s to 60s, thought that it would be appropriate to look at her and tell her that she could have done her wings better and that her wings didn't look as good as they could have looked. Like, there was no need for that man to say any of that, and it was just rude AF. And if I had been there when it happened, I would have beat his old ass down. Her wings looked good, and he had no reason to be as rude as he was to her. Question 9. What is your most recent cosplay? It actually kind of hurts my soul to say this because I think that my most recent cosplay was made for AWA 2015, and that was at least 6 months ago. But I think that the most recent costume that I have completed was Natsuki from Utapri. And number 10, it's time for me to tag some people to do this next. I'm going to be tagging four people today. As for my tags today, I tag Shitty Senpai, Onyx Heart, Trash Bag, and Neko Svang. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up to let me know you liked it, and if you want to see more content like this every week, hit the red subscribe button down below because I release a new video every Thursday. Almost every Thursday. I'm Sweet Pea Cosplay. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye. I'm going to show you how to take your old t-shirts and turn them into pillows that you can cuddle with at night. Am I done? Alright. We're done. It didn't come out. Okay. That highlight though!